Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Shamela Pula and here's what we have in the bulletin. Firefighters still battling blaze at Kingston Wholesale. Classes disrupted at Clarendon School following principal's dismissal. And later in sports, under-17 reggae boys off to a winning start at CONCACAF Championship. Now the details. Investigations are still underway into the cause of a massive fire in downtown Kingston last night. Firefighters are still at the scene trying to contain the blaze. Nakinske Robinson reports.
Firefighters have been busy at a scene of the fire on Tower Street in downtown Kingston since Monday night. While it has been contained for the most part, they faced several challenges.
At approximately 10:34 p.m., the fire brigade received and responded to a call of building on fire at number 203.5 to number 205 Tower Street, Kingston. 2 units were initially dispatched to the scene. When they got there and did their assessment, they recognized that additional help would have been needed, and a 3rd unit was dispatched.
The firefighters also had an issue accessing the building. They had to break through certain areas to reach the source of the blaze.
While I know merchants and persons who are involved in small businesses do need to secure their premises, it is proving a challenge when we have an incident, a fire at one of these facilities, to gain access, and that would have prevented us from being able to quickly bring the fire under control. We fought that fire for over 4 hours before we were able to bring it under control. So as we speak, we are still on location.
However, the extent of the damage to the properties is still unclear. The fire has caused significant disruptions in the area, with the Tower Street being cordoned off to facilitate the firefighting efforts.
The neighboring building as well, which was being used, that is at number 207 Tower Street, was being used as an hardware. They would have suffered some level of losses in relation to materials stored in their premises, such as PVC pipes and other hardware material. We are not yet certain of the cause of this fire. It is still under active investigation.
Fortunately, there have been no reports of injuries. Nakinske Robinson, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, victims of a fire in Cockburn Gardens, Kingston, are seeking the public's help to get back on their feet. The fire, which happened on Saturday night, has left several members of a family homeless. Details in this report.
Residents of Cockburn Gardens, St. Andrew, are still reeling from the devastating fire that destroyed a 2-bedroom house just 2 days ago. One of the 5 victims says he received the call while at work Saturday night.
We lost everything, bed, fridge, stores, just of everything closed.
But nothing was saved.
When I come, I see the fire. I'm going to try it, water and throw, but I couldn't. See? You can't see.
Yeah. So when you attempted to try and take out stuff, this is what occurred?
No, I couldn't take out nothing.
Youth advocate Akif Nugent, who lives in the same yard, described the experience as terrifying. However, he praised the swift response of the fire personnel.
I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. I was so shocked when I see, the flames and everything, and it is very, depressing to some persons. If it wasn't the quick response of the fire team, all the houses in this yard, everything.
Including yours?
Yeah, including my house would have been flat, and I just want to thank the Lord that they were on time and members of the community was here to, help to out of the fire.
Nugent is now appealing for help on behalf of his neighbors who lost everything in the blaze.
I am calling on the Jamaica itself, the MP member of Parliament for Seabright Gardens, the councillor for Seabright Garden. I am seeking your help, in helping out these fire victims, get back on track, help them out their furniture and so forth, help them to bring back and start back good and better. We are calling on you guys for assistance.
Anthony Atkinson, TVJ News.
Classes were disrupted at St. Thomas More Prep School in Midday, Clarendon. This after scores of parents staged a protest demanding that the principal be reinstated.
An outraged PTA body and concerned community members at the St. Thomas More Preparatory School in Midday, Clarendon over what they say is the unfair dismissal of the school's principal, Alex Reed.
It's generally a 2-week notice. We called a meeting yesterday to talk to them prior to the step going forward. Nobody come to us. When the priest came, he said blatantly that take our children and we get a refund and leave, because when he did employ Mr. Reed, nobody never know. So when Mr. Reed left, we don't have to know. So we need justice for Mr. Reed.
The parents say they are distressed as PEP exams are scheduled for next week.
My child has been here from grade 1. She's now in grade 6. She have PEP next week. So for the priest to come and do this right now is not the time for this right now.
Mr. Reed has come here under 3 years. And it's under 3 years, Mr. Reed has taken the PEP result from 50% to 80.3%. And the language arts alone from 27.7% to 93%. I'm telling you, I'm doing this statistically to show you that Mr. Reed has done more for this school than many persons have done in over a decade.
The principal was fired yesterday with immediate effect. Parents say they initially organized a meeting with representatives of the board in their request for answers. However, they were a no-show. When contacted, Chairman of the board, Dion Gay Bancroft, said she was not in a position to comment on the matter, and a news release will be issued in the press. Kerry-Ann Simpson, TVJ News.
The Jamaica Labour Party continues to defend the housing program in Jamaica. This is particular indigent housing. The details in this report.
What they're trying to do is to create scandal and mischief. Lie.
JLP Deputy Leader Desmond McKenzie not holding back as he responded to the criticism of the local government ministry's indigent housing program. Vulnerable Jamaicans such as the elderly, disabled and poor who otherwise cannot afford a decent home are usually the ones considered for assistance under the indigent housing program. And for Mr. McKenzie, the suggestion that some of those beneficiaries could lose their homes is not true and is a rumor fueled by persons with political agendas.
Some of them know none for say. So as something happen, them jump up and start to talk. What Andrew Holness's government has done for housing in Jamaica and labor rights, you must understand the message that the housing program of this government has been nothing but outstanding. No government before has ever undertaken what the government of Dr. Andrew Holness has done for housing in this country.
The program, he explained, has changed the lives of thousands of Jamaicans, including many people in central Kingston, the very location of Sunday's mass political meeting.
What we have done is that we have lifted the standard of the houses that we have built. Right here in central Kingston. We put in furniture in the house then. We give people decent housing.
The general election is constitutionally due later this year, and the JLP deputy leader warned supporters to only share information from credible sources, as political rivals will seek to win power using any means, and that includes trying to discredit the government using so-called fake news.
False information. And we're going to put an end to it. Because whenever Dr. Holness decide that the time come, we are going to show them that we are a government of performance. We are not a baga party.
Prince Moore, TVJ News.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. A wanted man was killed by police in St. Thomas during a police operation this morning. According to reports, about 12:55, two men were seen on a motorcycle along the Port Morant Main Road when they were signaled to stop. The man, Orville Denny, allegedly opened fire on the police, sparking a shootout. He was found in a river, suffering from bullet wounds. A 9mm pistol was found beside him. A second injured man was hospitalized. Indicom is investigating. It's now time for the Business Minute.
The Ministry of Finance and the Public Service is reporting a shortfall in production and consumption of tax of $8.29 billion during the period April to December this fiscal year. The ministry said $195.17 billion of the $203.46 billion it budgeted for was collected during the period. GCT collected on locally produced goods and services was $118.61 billion, while the amount budgeted was $122.4 billion. Meanwhile, the amount of SCT ranking was $14.19 billion compared to $16.85 billion programmed for. Further afield, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says he will give a firm and clear response to the latest trade barriers planned by U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump says he will levy a 25% import tax on all steel and aluminum products entering the U.S. from March 12. Canada is the top exporter of both metals to the U.S. Since returning to office last month, Trump has announced a wide range of these tariffs to try to protect U.S. jobs and industries. Economists say they are likely to raise prices for ordinary Americans. Trudeau said the new tariffs were entirely unjustified as Canada found itself in a second trade standoff with Washington in a matter of weeks. Canada was the U.S.'s closest ally. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Kerry Ann Simpson.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the Caribbean Public Health Agency CARPA has appointed Dr. Lisa Indar as its new executive director effective February 1, 2025. She succeeds Dr. Joyce St. John, who held the position since 2019. In her new role, Dr. Indar aims to lead CARPA's efforts in tackling public health challenges through regional collaborations and a focus on the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. The company's strategic plan for 2025 to 2030 emphasizes strengthening partnerships and capacity building. On the international scene, the first of two flights with Venezuelan deportees announced this Monday by the governments of the United States and Venezuela arrived at the Maquitía airport in Caracas. Minutes after 9 p.m., the first plane from the Paracetal Conviesa landed, transporting the group of about 119 Venezuelans, as announced by President Nicolas Maduro. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Antonia Atkinson, TVJ News.
We take another break. Sports is next.